countdown begin. Raze back live again. Pop culture, entertainment, of course, the hot topics. Traveling somewhere in the tropics. Usually for Zerb, for smoke show panels, $1 million plays. We expanding the channel, they say opinions like assholes. Watch your mouth at all times, and don't mess up the cash flow. We live.
What up, what up, what up, what up? Raze back live again on this Tuesday evening live stream. Hit that like button as you guys come in, guys, because it was a big day in court down there at the Diddy trial, guys. Yes. Diddy's defense team laid out their plan to get Diddy off, guys. And I believe they did a great job. A great job today. Guys, hit that like button. Hit that like button. We are going to talk about Rule 29. Rule 29. Diddy's defense team has filed a motion, Rule 29, which means they are asking the judge to toss out all of the charges. All of the charges. We do not need to go to the jurors. This case is a fraud. This case is a fraud, according to Diddy's defense team. They are asking the judge to toss out the charges. Now we will see if the judge obliges tomorrow. We'll see. I doubt the judge will toss out the charges from all accounts, what I'm reading, but I'm going to read to you exactly what is Rule 29. But the reasons for tossing out the charges that were put forth by the defense team will be used come this Friday during the closing arguments, because the closing arguments, guys, starts for both the prosecution and the defense on Thursday, with the prosecution going first, and then it is suspected to have the prosecution finish by Friday, and then the defense will make their case of why Diddy is not guilty. And they laid out the framework. They laid out the framework today of what they're going to argue, and I think they did a great job. Now they're trying to get the judge to toss out one of those 5 charges with the sex trafficking, Rico, racketeering. They have laid it out there, and we'll see tomorrow if the judge tosses out one of the charges. I doubt that he will. Many people are saying they doubt that he will. It's just, defense teams normally do this as a strategy to ask for a Rule 29 to get the charges tossed out. But we'll see. They got nothing to lose with that. And but as I was watching the defense lay out the reasons why this should be tossed out, they were going, charge by charge, from the racketeering to the sex trafficking and the like. And as they were doing that, I was on other people's channels inside their comments, and you can see the people that really want Diddy to go to jail, to go to prison for like 15 years to life, they were so mad, big mad at Diddy's defense team for actually putting out a defense. Hit the like button, guys. They were actually mad at Diddy's defense team for actually putting out a defense or putting on a defense. And I get the feeling that they wish Diddy's defense team didn't have a right to defend him. Now, yesterday was a big thing when they were saying, well, they're not calling any witnesses. Why isn't they calling any witnesses? That means they don't have a case. That means they have no defense. They're stealing money from Diddy. They're taking money. I'm like, come on, guys. These are highly paid lawyers, high-powered lawyers. Brian Steele, Agniflio, Garagos, or however you pronounce that name. They have reputations. They're trying to do the best they can to get their client off. So whatever strategy they need to use, if it's the strategy of not putting on a witness, if it's a strategy of not having Diddy testify, which he has confirmed to the judge, he talked to the judge. You heard, they were able to hear Diddy's voice today, because he confirmed to the judge that he will not be testifying. The judge asked him, hey, you have a right to testify, on your behalf, and you sure that you do not want to testify? The judge asked him, because the judge asked him, hey, how are you doing? Diddy said, I'm doing great. Then Diddy said, you're doing a great job, judge. And Diddy did confirm that he will not be testifying on his own accord. You know what I'm saying? So they had to get that out the way. But like I said, it seems as though as Diddy's defense team was putting out those talking points on why he is not guilty of Rico racketeering conspiracy, of the sex trafficking of Jane and Cassie, and they were reading out text messages that proved their point. The people that want to see Diddy buried were so mad and angry at Diddy's defense team because they were putting out logical defense. They was putting out a logical defense. And you know what? People that are biased, they don't want to see any logical defense put out by the defense team because they wanted the prosecution to put out their case and not really have the defense, slap down any of the accusations. They wanted a trial to where it's just going to be prosecution says this happened, prosecution witnesses says this is what happened. So the jury must find him guilty because it's the feds. This is Rico. This is racketeering. The feds wouldn't lie about this stuff. The feds wouldn't overreach. If the feds put you on trial, 95% conviction rate, right? Diddy is a bad guy. Diddy is this. Diddy is that. We don't want to hear nothing from the defense. We don't want to hear nothing from the defense. If why would we listen to this? The defense is crazy. The defense they like criminals. No, the defense is just doing their job. They're doing their job, guys. Hit the like button, guys, and I'm going to get into what was said inside that courtroom today. Like I said, tomorrow there will be court, but the jurors. The judge told the jurors they don't have to come to court tomorrow, so they'll be back into the court on Thursday for the closing arguments for the prosecution. Because tomorrow, what's going to happen is the defense and prosecution is going to argue about the instructions, what instructions to give to the jurors when they go deliberate. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to hash that out about noontime, and they're going to be arguing back and forth. So the jurors are not going to be present for that. So, it's some kind of charging meeting or something like that. So, they're going to be going back and forth of what kind of instruction to give to the jurors, to put guilty or not guilty on the forms and stuff like that. So, yeah. But it's going to be some fireworks on Thursday and Friday because those are the closing arguments. And we could technically have a verdict by the end of Friday because they're going to go from 9 to 5 on Thursday and Friday. So if the defense finish, their closing arguments in time, it's going to go to the jurors late Friday or Monday. But, there is an outside chance that they could be finished, making their final closing arguments, the defense on Friday, guys. So we're going to be live from out there covering that. It's going to be crazy. And, man. Let me see what's in the comments section first, guys. They are ready for the defense, says Tommy Johnson. Shout out to you, Tommy Johnson. Hit the like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel. And thank you for all your donations over the past week. And all the new subscribers that have been coming through. I appreciate all you guys. Bad says, take that. Yes. Defense turn is coming. Yes, Maria. Yes. And like I said, they had outlined their defense, basically. They pretty much outlined the defense in the in technical terms of why, this is not Rico racketeering and why the defense, why the prosecution did not prove their case. I'm going to read to you exactly what they said. Germany, free Diddy, says free Diddy. And like I said, guys, this, as I've been watching this case over the past year, my whole attitude has changed. There has been no A minors involved. There has been no underage. There has been no druggings that have been involved in this. As far as this trial, he wasn't even charged with underage, activities like R. Kelly was. So let me see. Man, please, bye Diddy. Tommy Johnson. Hey, Tommy Johnson, Tammy Johnson, did you see what was actually said inside that courtroom today? Now, guys, this motion, this Rule 29 motion was not put in front of the jurors, guys. The jurors were out on break, and this Rule 29 motion to have the charges thrown out was only in front of the judge. It's going to be the judge's decision if he wants to throw out the charges or not, throw out one of 5 of the charges or not, and don't even have it go to the jury, which he's not going to do that more than likely. But we'll know by tomorrow. But it gave us an outline of what the defense is planning to use as their case as a defense. And I believe they did a great job. I think they have a great chance of getting one of those 12 jurors to say not guilty on the major charges. Let me see. Weak case, he should be free, says Rose Wright. Let me see. What up, Bad? Shout out to you, Bad. Rose Wright says hi. Salute Adric High. Salute. Take that. Says Bad. Is he really winning? Yeah, I think he has a great shot at this right now, Air Maxwell. I think he has a great shot. I don't believe the defense believes that the prosecution really proved their case, and I'm going to go through it. Why? In a couple of minutes. Germany says free Diddy. Down with that creep. Yeah, and the thing is, listen. Yeah, he got some creepers ways. He really do. He do have some creepers ways to him. Diddy does. But like I said, I'm gonna keep saying it. That's not 15 years to life type. This is not a 15 years to life type case. I'm sorry. This should not have been a Rico racketeering. This is a huge stretch by the feds, by the prosecution, and Diddy's defense team is putting it out there just like I pretty much thought they would. You know what I'm saying? They mentioned the Christina Karam. They mentioned the security. They said, look, D-Rock and them guys, they had no idea what Diddy was doing behind closed doors, when they went. But so this could not be a conspiracy, Christina Karam didn't know what was going on. Matter of fact, there was messages saying Diddy was trying to hide stuff from Christina Karam because he didn't want her to know about certain things he was doing at the freak offs and this and that. So, and they were pretty much making an argument in front of the judge that, sometimes the security team would try to help some of the females if Diddy was, getting violent with them and this and that. And they were not helping Diddy do anything. They wasn't helping him do crimes, and there was no conspiracy. So I'm going to get into exactly what was said. I'm just giving y'all the outline, which I know. And they mentioned the bribery of the hotel, which I said, look, technically there was no crime committed. There was no bribery because there was no actual police report filed. Cassie said she had a movie coming out and she wasn't going to press charges. She didn't want the bad press. She wanted this stuff swept under the rug. So she had no intention on pressing charges. So, they bought the tape from the hotel of the Cassie beatdown because, Cassie didn't want that out there. Cassie nor Diddy wanted that out there, not because there was a police investigation, because there was no police investigation. So how can it be bribery? You know what I'm saying? So they actually went there. The Diddy's defense team actually went there like I knew they would. And they are making common sense claims, guys. And it's going to be up for the jurors to listen on Friday, because they're going to put this in front of the jurors on Friday in more layman's terms. And they're going to be like, hey, jurors, make your decision. I believe it's a genius move what the Diddy's defense team is doing. Like I said, everybody was saying, oh, Diddy's team don't got no defense. Diddy's team don't know what they're doing. They're stealing money. I say this as Raze, you guys are out y'all damn mind. Brian Steele, you saying Brian Steele don't know what he's doing? This dude just got a 15-year Young Thug probation when he was facing life in prison out there inside Atlanta. Come on, guys. You guys are better than that. You actually think this high-powered Diddy defense team do not know what they're doing? Really? You say, well, they don't have a defense. That's their strategy not to bring up somebody to testify. Obviously, right now, because they don't want, they know what they're going to ask them, their witnesses, but they don't know what the prosecution. Well, they have an idea what the prosecution would cross-examining their witnesses on, and they don't want to put that out there. They don't want to put Diddy on the stand. They don't want to put further witnesses on the stand to give the feds a chance to pick at that, because all they're gonna say, people say, oh, but character witness, they should put somebody up there to say good things about Diddy. Listen, and now I understand. If they were to put somebody on the stand as a character witness to say good things about Diddy, how good he is, guess what? That won't be the end of it. The jurors will actually hear the prosecution cross-examine, and guess what they're gonna do? Bring out the Diddy beat down tapes again on Cassie, and ask the person that is testifying about how good of a person Diddy is, ask them over and over again about the abuse, and they're gonna show those tapes again in front of the jurors. And Diddy's defense team, they decided, you know what, we don't need any more of those tapes being showed. You know what I'm saying? So really, it really is no point in even having a Diddy witness go up there and give a good character assessment of Diddy, because the prosecution is just going to show those tapes over and over again, yet again, and ask the question, wait a minute, how was this guy a good guy when he was on video beating up Cassie, guys? So, let me see. Maybe Rico was overcharging, but blowing up the car should have been charged, and DA messed up overcharging. Yes, and they mentioned the Kid Cudi car also. I'm going to get into that. Port City Investments, what's up, Raze? Explain the guns and drugs. Well, I'm going to read to you exactly, Chase, exactly what they said. No minors here, free Diddy. I'm going to read to you exactly how they framed it. Shout out to Paul South is in the building. Rico is all or nothing. Yeah, and that's what I think. I think Diddy's defense team is doing the best they can to knock down each of those charges in the Rico and racketeering. They overcharged because he was successfully black man. Let's be real. Razor Port City Investments. This is not a Rico case, says Adrian Kennedy. So if everybody that says it's not a Rico case, raise your hand. Diddy is not part of organized crime. No Rico here. No Rico, says Tina Camp. Just a freak with money, and he is black is the only reason for this trial. Tina Camp says this case pisses. All right. Hot Wing is in the building. Salute Hot Wing. Hit that like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you all the new people that have come through and subscribe to the channel over the past few weeks of covering this case. It has been fun covering this case. Now, according to the Washington Post, the defense is making an acquittal motion during the jury's lunch break. Okay. Now, the jurors was not in the room during this motion. Okay. They were not for acquittal. This motion for acquittal, the jurors did not hear this. Okay, this is just for the judge. But remember what I read right now, this is going to be played out there. This is going to be put as evidence and as final motions for acquittal from the jury is going to be put out there as they do their closing statements on Friday. So the defense is making an acquittal motion during the jury's lunch break, which is common after the government rests its case. And acquittal is almost never granted. Okay, so this is just for the judge, guys. Defense attorney Alexander Shapiro is arguing that the government has not proved a conspiracy to commit racketeering. Her arguments could take some time given the amount of evidence in the case. Okay. Let me see. Seeking to have Sean Diddy Combs acquitted by the judge, the defense is arguing that there is no proof that the team of assistants and bodyguards believe his girlfriends were being trafficked. Okay, remember, trafficking, sex trafficking. Those employees didn't know much, if anything, about what went on between Mr. Combs and his girlfriends in those hotel rooms, other than they used a lot of baby oil and Astroglide and perhaps used drugs. Defense attorney Alexandra Shapiro said, y'all guys hearing me, guys? This is putting out there. This is what they're going to use on Friday to close their arguments in front of those 12 jurors, okay? To prove one of the most serious charges, racketeering conspiracy, prosecutors need to establish there was an agreement among Combs' employees to help him commit crimes. The government is likely to counter the defense by arguing Combs' inner circle reinforced his intimidations and threats against women. They will also probably accuse staff of helping Combs erase evidence of his bad behavior, including domestic violence. Now, guys, you just seen, okay, you just heard me say, they said those employees didn't know much of anything about what went on between Mr. Combs and his girlfriends in those hotel rooms. So that was said in the court today by Diddy's defense team. They said, look, this is not a conspiracy because his workers did not know what was going on in those rooms, right? They didn't know. So this was no grand conspiracy between Diddy and his employees. Okay. They also said, Diddy's defense team also said domestic violence is not sex trafficking, and the evidence didn't show Cassie Ventura was engaged in any sexual activity because of violence. Defense attorney Alexander Shapiro argued as she seeks an acquittal for Sean Combs. Guys, hit the like button. Guys, also, they mentioned the fact that, Diddy was trying to recoup his phone. He was trying to recoup his phone. And from on that video of the beatdown when he was dragging her, they mentioned that, look, they already did the freak off. So Diddy wasn't grabbing her to bring her back into the freak. They said that the sex was done. The freak off is over. Diddy was mad that she was trying to leave with his phone and whatever else he had in a bag. And once he got the bag back and the phone back, he let her go. He let her go. He didn't stop her from leaving. And so that's what the defense put out there. He did not drag her back into the room. They said that the freak off was already done. She was already dressed and gone. And Diddy went crazy though to get his phone back and to get the bag and to such. And that was a bad day for Diddy to do that, and it was a bad thing for him to do. But that's not sex trafficking. Guys, hit the like button. Are you guys buying what the defense is selling? People were saying, hey, the defense don't got no, they don't got no defense and this and that. Well, the defense is coming with that heat. The defense is coming with that fire. Hit that like button, guys. This is going to be put in front of all 12 jurors on Friday, guys. They just need to put some doubt inside the jurors' head. It's on the prosecution to to put the evidence out there on guilt. Really, the defense didn't have to do much of anything. You know what I'm saying? And now I do see that inside the YSL case, they didn't put any witnesses for Young Thug and some of the other co-defendants, right? They didn't put no witnesses on the stand, and they were able to work out plea deals for them. So it's a strategy, guys. All right. Now, let me go to some other things as far as what the Diddy defense team put out there. And like I said, we'll see. Maybe the judge gets rid of one of the. I don't think he will though. This is a play to have the judge just throw out some of these charges. You know what I'm saying? And Diddy's defense team was hitting each charge one at a time. You know what I'm saying? There's 5 charges, and they were hitting each one of them one at a time. And this is the exact play they're going to use on Friday. You know what I'm saying? The exact play that they're going to use on Friday. And I think it's a brilliant, no Rico. If he blew up the car, that's not life. Free Diddy. Like I was saying, well, out there inside LA, they're blowing up cars and they're not trying to give them life in prison. But the thing is with the Kid Cudi thing, they said, the defense team today said, well, there's no evidence that Diddy was even in the house. There's no camera. There's no videos of him in the house. There's no evidence that he actually blew up that guy's car. The DNA evidence came back as a female evidence. This is basically all hearsay, circumstantial evidence. This is yeah, this is just like thin. They kept using the word thin. This is thin proof. The prosecutors did not prove their case without unreasonable doubt, and this is all thin. You know what I'm saying? Far-fetched thin evidence that the Now, as far as the hotel, right? The hotel, right? Incident as for when they got the video back, right? Okay. Let's see. And when they got the video back from the hotel, when they paid the $50,000 and $100,000 to get the video back, Daniel Phillips, a man Sean Diddy Combs allegedly hired to have sex with Cassie Ventura. All right. You know what? Nah. You know what? I'm not gonna. You know what? Let me not read that one for it. Let me see. All right, you know what? Let me read this. Combs Ventura, Combs, Cassie Ventura discussed freak offs and drugs in 2017 text. Okay, so this is some text I got right here. Before I get to the whole hotel thing again, defense attorney Anna Estaviel read part of a text conversation between Cassie Ventura and Diddy Combs, March 2017. You think you can freak off without getting a high? LOL, Combs wrote. Cassie said, yeah, I'll just have to be at my level. And what is good for me? Cassie responded. Diddy's lawyer read part of an explicit text conversation from April 2017. Combs asked Cassie what she was going to do. And she said, be your little freak. Cassie wrote, well, these are just more. They're just reading off text saying that, look, Cassie did not show any sign that she did not want to be involved in these freak offs, guys. Hit the like button. So they were knocking down inside courtroom and in the courtroom and in front of the jurors that, look, they're reading these things out saying, look, Cassie was all for these freak offs. She was not coerced. She was not threatened. And they said in court that they could have left. Both Jane and Cassie, they both had the free will to leave. They both had free will to leave at any time. Also, people like Brianna, Mia, they were not forced labored. According to the Diddy's lawyers, they said they were free to quit anytime. And not getting paid overtime, that's not forced labor. You take that up with the labor department and you file complaints with that, but you were able to quit anytime. If you felt that you were being overworked, you could have quit anytime. You were not held there beyond your will. You could quit anytime. So they were attacking the forced labor claims, which they were saying, nope, this is not forced labor. No one told you had to stay. No one intimidated you to stay. And when you left, you came back. You was asking for jobs back. So you were not forced. This is not forced labor. So this is just the Diddy's defense team knocking down a lot of what the prosecution put out there. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button. Now, Rule 29, right? Combs' defense attorney, Shapiro, made a Rule 29 motion. This is what we're reading out. Motion typically made by the defense in a criminal trial after the government rests its case to judgment of acquittal on all counts, arguing that the government failed to meet its burden to prove the counts against Combs, okay? Regarding the racketeering count, Diddy's lawyer, Shapiro, argued the prosecutors failed to show that Combs conspired with anybody, okay? And that he actually took steps to conceal the nature of his sexual activity he was engaging in from his employees, including ex-chief of staff Christina Karam. Shapiro also argued that the prosecution did not prove the sex trafficking counts relating to Jane and Cassie. So they were saying, look, he was actually trying to hide some of the stuff from Christina Karam. Now they're saying, trying to say Christina Karam is a co-conspirator. But they're saying, look, Diddy was trying to hide that stuff from her. She didn't know about this stuff. She didn't know about these alleged crimes. This is no conspiracy. This is Diddy acting alone. So where's the Rico? Where's the racketeering, guys? Where is the Rico? Where is the racketeering? Diddy was acting alone. Christina Karam was an employee. He tried to hide some of this stuff from Christina Karam. KK. Okay. They also was mentioning Dawn Richards' testimony and been trying to shoot down some of Dawn Richards' testimony also, guys. I think they did a masterful job, guys. And the thing is, the judge is going to deny. The judge is going to deny the request to draw out the charges. He will tomorrow. But this same stuff they put out there is going to go in front of the 12 jurors. And I believe they're going to get 1 or 2 jurors to bite on the sex trafficking and say not guilty, guys. I would. This guy is facing 15 years of life for this. I think this is an overreach. I believe this is they are intruding in the bedrooms of consenting adults. I believe this is, love triangles. This is a jealous freakazoid Diddy, who is very jealous and abusive. And he needs some anger management. He needs some drug rehab for sure. He does not need 15 years to life in prison, in my opinion. But I believe that they're going to get 1 or 2, maybe 2 or 3 the jurors to say, yeah, not guilty on the sex trafficking, guys. I really believe that now from what I'm seeing, what they're going to put out there as they closing arguments. And they're going to take like 3 or 4 hours for their closing arguments. So it's not going to be, short. They rested their case. It was very short today when they rested their case. But this right here, this is gonna be big in front of those 12 jurors, guys. This is gonna be big in front of those 12 jurors. TF Tiffany says Rico, and like I said, as Diddy's defense team was doing this, people were mad about Diddy's defense team putting this out there. I'm like, look, Diddy's defense team, they hired to do a job. They have to put out the defense for Diddy. They have to seed some doubt inside the jurors, and I believe they're going to do that big time on Friday, guys. And this was well organized, says Street Smarts. Now, let me see. Diddy is done, says Dave Milton. Feds have a 98% rate. Davey, it's obvious people don't understand the law. That's why they break the law. Does not make it right, says Keish. Hello, Razor. You're doing your thing. News updates. That's actually true, not media lies. Big up to you. Thank you, Flo Johnson. Like I said, I'm just calling it like I see it, guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm calling it like I see it. And I believe Diddy's defense team did a great job today. Now, like I said, this is going to be knocked down. This is going to be, this is the judge is not going to, dismiss, acquit Diddy. He's going to let it go to the jurors. But once they put this stuff in front of the jurors, I can't see all 12 jurors convicting Diddy on the most egregious acts as far as the sex trafficking and the racketeering. Those carry the biggest sentences. I just don't see it. I think they are they're laying out their case very, very good. And I don't believe they needed a witness. They did not need a witness to go up there to get cross-examined by the prosecution. You know what I'm saying? Defense says there's no evidence, right? Ex-chief of staff knew of or facilitated coercion. All right. Defense attorney Alexandra Shapiro said there's no evidence. There is no evidence that Christina Karam, Sean Diddy Combs, right, former chief of staff, knew or believed that Combs' girlfriends were being coerced against their will. Okay. Shapiro also said there's no evidence that Christina Karam participated in facilitating any crimes for Combs. Okay. All right. Except potentially drugs for personal use. And here is the drugs, guys. They said, look, they're giving them that. They said, all right, maybe she, facilitated to get some drugs for personal use, not for sale, not for resale. This is not a Pablo Escobar case where there's that type of drug trafficking. This is for their personal use, right? All right. That's not the way co-conspirators act with each other, she said. She also noted that the prosecutors alleged the conspiracy began in 2004, but Christina Karam did not become significantly involved until around 2016. So they're saying, so Diddy's team, defense team, has said, look, y'all saying this conspiracy began in 2004, but this co-conspirator, Christina Karam, that y'all keep bringing up, she didn't get involved with Diddy's, significantly with Bad Boy Records until 2016. So where's this conspiracy? Like, where's this grand conspiracy? Guys, they are laying it out there, guys. Now, like I said, people that want to see Diddy buried is big mad about this. But look, Diddy's defense team, they're coming with the heat. They're coming with the fire. They're coming with the smoke. They're coming with the smoke. And people was like, nah, Diddy don't got no defense. Are y'all crazy? Or y'all really that crazy to believe that this high-powered defense team would not have any defense? Come on, guys. You guys are better than that. You guys are better than that. You guys know better than that. You guys know better than that. Y'all guys were just wishful thinking that they didn't have a defense because y'all want to see Diddy buried. You know what I'm saying? No trafficking either. Yeah, and they're making a case. They're making a great case of why this is overreach. This is overreach, guys. This is overreach, and there was no bribery. You know what I'm saying? They said there was no bribery. They said what I was saying all along. How can it be bribery? He didn't bribe police to get that video. He didn't bribe police. There was no case form. They did not commit obstruction because Cassie did not file charges. They bought that video on behalf of Cassie and Diddy because they didn't want their image out there like that. And Cassie had a movie coming out, so they decided to buy the video from the hotel staff, $50,000. The security, $100,000. And call it a day. They did not interfere in any police investigation because there was no police investigation, which is true. They did not bribe police officers. So what bribery? So you got to throw that out. They're pretty much saying, look, bribery. No, there's no evidence of bribery because there was no, that was just their own, personal, grievance between each other in that hotel, and they both wanted that to go away. Both Cassie and Diddy wanted that to go away. There was no police, report. Cassie had no intention on filing a police report. She had a movie coming out. She did not want the bad press. She wanted to go away. So, then why not put these people on the stand, Keish? Well, like I said, they're not. Yeah, well, like I said, they're not going to put. They don't want to put the witnesses on the stand because they don't want cross-examination. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, they mentioned Diddy's defense team mentioned D-Rock, who was the one of the security guards involved. I don't know why the prosecution didn't call in D-Rock and some of the other security guards and get them in. I don't know why they didn't. But Diddy's defense team is like, look, D-Rock and them people did not know what Diddy was doing behind closed doors inside the freak-offs. They didn't know he was doing drugs and this and that. This is not some conspiracy thing. They were not trying to help Diddy conceal crimes and this and that. They were just employees, They were doing their job, and sometimes they would actually, help Cassie or help Jane Doe when they said they were, abused or whatever the case. They seen it. They were like come in between. There was no conspiracy to engage in racketeering to help Diddy with his crimes. They had no idea. They were just doing their job, and they didn't know. They sometimes the chief of staff and them, they ordered, flights. They ordered, hotel rooms because they were doing their job. Now, whatever Diddy did behind closed doors, once they, got inside the hotel rooms, whatever, that's on Diddy. You know what I'm saying? Diddy acted alone. This is not a Rico trial. This should not be a Rico racketeering trial. Where is the conspiracy? Where is the criminal organization? Is what Diddy's defense team is masterfully putting it out there, and they are going to seed some doubt inside those jurors, guys. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. All right. Diddy's defense team, Shapiro, said his assistants didn't know much, if anything, about what went on between Mr. Combs, right, and his girlfriends in the hotel rooms. Shapiro argued that Combs actually took steps to conceal the nature of his sexual activity he was engaging in from his employees. So these people that suppose it are part of this grand scheme and grand conspiracy, Diddy's defense team is saying Combs is trying to hide that from them. There is no conspiracy. They weren't helping Combs hide anything. Combs was hiding, according to some of these texts, he was hiding some of these things from some of his employees. So there was no grand conspiracy. This is not a Rico racketeering case. This is what the defense attorney is putting out there. The defense attorney said that that's evident through the fact that Combs, Cassie Ventura, and Jane, okay. All right, let me bring that up. Cassie Ventura and Jane booked the entertainers and escorts, all right, instead of Combs employees. So they're saying Cassie Ventura and Jane themselves booked the entertainers, the escorts, and not some of the employees. Guys, hit that like button, guys. Diddy's defense team is doing a masterful job, guys, and this is going to be laid out there on Friday, guys. And people, like I said, people be like, well, they don't got no defense. You guys have lost your mind. Now, and this is brilliant, because now they're using the word entertainers. You notice they didn't use the word prostitutes, right? It said Jane and Cassie booked entertainers, not prostitutes, guys. So Diddy's defense team was trying to say that, look, as far as the sex trafficking, the sex trafficking is the biggest, because sex trafficking across state lines is going to get them 15 years to life in prison. It's like, look, some of these entertainers, they're not even cross state lines. They were already in the state. They were in the same state already. And the idea, they were booked to come there as entertainers and escorts, right? All right, that show Combs and Jane communicated with entertainers about timing to avoid run-ins with Combs' staff. So they were saying, look, the text messages show that, look, Jane and Combs, were booking the entertainers, and they wanted to avoid run-ins with Combs' staff. So saying, look, a lot of this times Combs' staff had no idea what Diddy was actually doing behind closed doors with these entertainers. It's like, he wanted to keep that, from them a lot of the times. You know what I'm saying? So there is no conspiracy or racketeering. You know what I mean? What are y'all guys thinking, guys? What are y'all guys thinking? Is Diddy's team doing a good job right here? The worker set up the rooms. Yeah, like I said, they said, look, yeah, they set up rooms, but listen, they set up rooms for whatever Diddy asked, to set it up for. Like, I mean, what's the crime? That's their job, to set up hotel rooms. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, they set up hotel rooms. You know what I mean? And whatever Diddy was going to do behind closed doors with consenting adults, he does behind closed doors. I don't see what like, this is a straight up overreach. This is not the mafia. This is not the mob. Like, what is the Well, I still I don't understand what the feds is doing here. You know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of Rico racketeering case is this? Like, this is odd. This is odd. This is very odd. This is a whole, like, a lot of bedroom policing. This is very odd. This is very odd. They also brung up Jane, and they said, look, the only reason the feds brung Jane in and into this, claiming that she was the victim, was only after that single time of violence when she hit Diddy first, and Diddy went overboard and hit her back and this and that, and then that's when the feds got her to come out and say all of this stuff about she was being trafficked and she was not down with it, but they kept showing text messages showing that Jane was down for the freak off. She did never, Cassie was down for the freak offs, constant text messages. You know what I mean? Constant text messages. And the main thing saying that both Jane and Cassie, well, specifically Jane, did not have to continue doing the freak offs. She did not have to continue doing the freak offs if she didn't want to. She kept coming back for monetary gain. You know what I'm saying? It was her own free will to keep coming back. So I mean, that is on her. Gene Deal told y'all what was going on. Diddy is in federal custody right now. How is that winning? Well, he's winning the best way he can, because this is the trial. This is the trial right here. And you'll see on Friday when it goes to the jury, because the jury could decide his fate on Friday. If they finish in time, it's going to be from 9 to 5. If the defense finish in time, it's going to go to the jurors on Friday. We technically can have a verdict on Friday. If I know people hate to hear that. I mean, people that want Diddy to be buried, they don't want to hear no defense. They are big mad about Diddy's defense team being able to voice their opinion on the case and slap down the federal Rico racketeering. I was wondering exactly how they was going to do it, but they are doing a masterful job. And all they got to do is put some doubt inside those jurors' heads, which they will. If I was in a jury, I'd say not guilty, because first of all, like I said, I practice jury nullification. I don't believe this is a 15 years to life worth type case. If you were to tell me 3 to 5 years, okay, I could rock with the prosecution and the feds. But this is 15 years to life. You guys are playing games. This is not that type. This is not R. Kelly dealing with the A minors. This is not the mafia. This is not that type of case. Bad Boy Records is not a threat to society. Bad Boy Records is not a threat to New York City. They're not a threat to LA. You know what I'm saying? This is not that type of criminal organization. This is not even a criminal organization, as the Diddy defense team is proving. This is far-fetched nonsense. Now, let me see. KK paid for flight. Paul carried his personal use drugs. And they keep mentioning personal use drugs. Yeah. Personal use drugs. Of course, KK paid for flights because that's their job, to pay for flights, to get the concerts, that's their job. They pay for flights. Now, whatever Diddy does behind closed doors, that's on Diddy. That's what Diddy's defense team is saying. This is no conspiracy. Christina Karam, KK, she paid for flights. Yes, she did what Diddy told her to do. You know what I'm saying? And maybe Paul, Paul the drug mule, aka the drug mule, yeah, he bought some personal use drugs, which sometimes they all used and got high. I mean, get them on drug possession. This is a big reach for drug trafficking. It's madness, to be honest with you. Now, the more I think about it, this sets a horrible precedent. Like, what's the feds thinking? Like, what kind of... Yeah, he said, look, regarding the racketeering, Shapiro argued that prosecutors failed to show that anybody conspired with Combs. So they didn't get together and say, hey, we're gonna start these rackets. We're gonna make a lot of money on the streets. We're gonna put drugs out there in the streets. We're gonna do this and that. We're gonna profit from it. You know what I'm saying? And this and that. It's not that type of case. This is a weird case for the feds to bring federal racketeering. Now I know they do it. They do it with the stock market, with people that, Wall Street. They do it. They do it. But this one is like, do we need 15 years to life in prison for this type of stuff? He's a weirdo. He's a freak. The females are weirdos and freak because the females, they are groupies. They are high paid 304s. Let's be honest. They went along for the ride. You know what I'm saying? Sometime unwillingly, sometime willingly, sometime like hesitantly, but they went along as consenting adults. Sometimes we all in life make that choice. Should I or shouldn't I? And then if you ultimately say, okay, I'm going to do it, then that's on you as an adult. You're doing a freak off. I mean, it's not, I mean, you was having sex. I mean, with a bunch of men. What's the difference between what Diddy was doing in the porn industry? And people brought up Hugh Hefner. What was the difference between what Hugh Hefner was doing in Diddy at the Playboy Mansion? Obviously, I mean, what was the difference? I mean, long as they were consenting adults, I don't have a problem with it. If I was in that jury, I mean, but it's gonna go down. It's gonna go to the jurors, guys. It's gonna go to the jurors. But I believe that Diddy's defense team is doing a masterful job. I was like, for the people that keep saying Diddy's defense team is inept, and I'm like, y'all guys are out of y'all mind. Y'all really believe, or y'all want Raze to believe that Diddy's defense team don't have any clue what they're doing? Sometimes, from what I read, sometimes a defense lawyer could say, look, I have 15 witnesses that's going to testify on behalf of my client, right? And then when it comes time, he doesn't call any of them. He just marks them down. He says, look, I got like 15 witnesses. But sometimes he won't call any of them because either one, he feel that, it's not worth putting them on the stand so they could get cross-examined, or two, they're not really needed because the prosecution did not put forth a valid case. You know what I'm saying? So really, it's not they're not really needed. So no point of risking putting them on the stand to get cross-examined. You know what I'm saying? That's not sex trafficking. And like I said, they masterfully throughout the whole, bribery thing. Look, and it's not, it's not obstruction of justice because Diddy wasn't obstructing justice because he had no idea he was being investigated by the feds. He had no idea he was being investigated by the feds in those text messages, as far as when the lawsuit was during Cassie's lawsuit. So when he was saying things like, hey, I'm going to continue paying, you $10,000 for your thing, Jane Doe, you good with that. I think Diddy was just trying to protect himself from a lawsuit from Jane Doe, to be honest with you. But he ain't won a $20 million lawsuit. But Diddy's defense team was like, look, he didn't know he was being investigated by the feds. So anything he was saying to his employees about probably not talking on the phone about certain stuff and this and that, he had zero clue he was being investigated. So there's no obstruction of justice there. He wasn't obstructing justice, So Diddy's defense team was putting it out there, and it's going to be for the 12 jurors to decide. I think he has a very good shot. And now we'll see about any plea deals, any pleading down, maybe plead down on a sex trafficking, because that's the biggest one across the state lines by force and coercion, which I think is a joke. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they just plead down, or maybe I don't know. I mean, this is like a very weird case for the feds to bring forward. And if y'all don't want to listen to Raze, well, just listen to Judge Mathis. Judge Mathis said the same thing I'm saying. Judge Mathis said, look, the crimes he see that Diddy did, he would have sentenced Diddy to like 3 to 5 years in prison. But unfortunately for Diddy, Judge Mathis says that the feds, they want it all. They want to drop the big time hammer, 15 years to life. And I don't know why. Personally, I don't know if you guys know why. I know everybody discussed about the Diddy beating up Cassie thing, but it is what it is. She got paid $20 million for that. Really $30 million because of the $10 million from the hotel. Also, I mean, it's like, you're not going to give, like I said yesterday when I was at the court, I was like, how is a sex trafficking, in this case, grown adults crossing state lines, which Diddy defense team has denied. He called them entertainers. They wasn't prostitutes, And how is that worth 15 years of life when him actually assaulting Cassie is not worth 15 years of life minimum? So how is sex trafficking worth 15 years of life when the most egregious thing, where everybody will say the most egregious thing, him beating up Cassie on video, that's not even worth 15 years of life? So how on God Green's earth is sex trafficking grown adults, the Punisher, and them people who call themselves entertainers? They didn't call themselves pay-for-play prostitutes, guys. So Diddy's defense team is saying that inside court. He hired them as entertainers, quote unquote, and they did not cross state lines. Some of them was already in LA. You know what I'm saying? So they put that out there too. Look, you saying across state lines. Some of them was already in, one of them was already in New York, like the Punisher, and the other one was already in LA. He didn't have to fly out across state lines. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about every single one of them. But anyway, even if they did cross state lines, me as a juror, I wouldn't care. Why would I find them guilty of that so he could get 15 years of life for that? When the most egregious thing that I wouldn't like as a juror, him beating up Cassie, that's not even worth 15 years of life. So how is engaging in prostitution get you more time in jail than actually beating up Cassie? Where's the common sense? What kind of laws are these? That's what I'm saying, guys. Raze. I'll be doing jury notification. I'm like, look, not guilty, not guilty. I'm sorry. I do not agree with the charges. I believe the charges is an overreach by the government, and I know this sets a bad precedent. You know what I mean? Horrible precedent if they are allowed to get away with this and get a guilty conviction on all these charges, because now the feds is going to run amok using the Rico racketeering on anything. You know what I'm saying? Just drop the atomic bomb. You know what I mean? Highlander with the 999. Shout out to you, Highlander. Salute, Highlander. What's up, Razor? Will the case end tomorrow? No, well, the case, they're going to argue. Thank you for the 999 donation. They're going to argue about the instructions to the jury, what to instruct the jury, how to, do the verdict and everything. So the jury is not going to be in tomorrow, but the defense and the prosecution is going to be there tomorrow, starting around noon. And then the closing arguments start on Thursday. Prosecution goes first, and it's expected that they're going to take all of Thursday. And then the defense is going to do Friday. And if there's time left, they're going to go to the jury on Friday. And of course, they take the weekend off. So if not Friday, if the defense is not finished by Friday, which I think they will be, but if not, it's going to go to the jury on Monday. They kind of want to get this over with by the 4th of July holiday. So and we're going to be having our verdict watch, Highlander. Thank you for that $9.99. It's coming to a close, guys. This is coming to a close. And I'm just seeing people are big mad at the defense. See, anytime the defense brings up some logical defense, people get mad. How dare they? How dare they say such a thing? How dare they victim shame? Because it's their job. What they're supposed to do, let the victim just talk all of this trash, maybe perjure themselves, maybe lie and over-exaggerate things on the prosecution's behalf and not defend their client that they're getting paid to defend. Oh, how dare the defense defend Diddy? Because it's their job. Duh. Like, what is wrong with people? Of course they're going to defend their client. Their client paying a hell of a lot of money too. Look, even a public defender that's not getting paid a lot of money. It's his job to defend their client. You can't be mad about that. Y'all just want the prosecution to run their mouth and have all these alleged victims. Jane Doe not a victim. All these alleged victims to spew whatever nonsense or victim crying testimony on the stand and not have Diddy's defense team have any defense. Y'all were celebrating. Yeah, Diddy team, they ain't gonna have no defense. They have no witnesses. They have no defense. Diddy's team is throwing in the white towel. Diddy's team don't know what they're doing. Diddy's team this. Diddy's team that. And now Diddy's team is proving that they do have a defense. Common sense stuff, they're putting it out there. And they're gonna put it in more layman's terms on Friday. They just saying, look, they have not proved their case. The feds have not proved their case. There is doubt in some of these testimonies. Look at these text messages. These girls are not victims, willing participants. Yeah, Diddy's a drug addict. He's not a drug dealer. Overcharging. Where's the Rico conspiracy? This is Bad Boy Records is not a criminal organization where people were plotting and conspiring with P. Diddy to have freak offs. And it's strange because even I'm to the point now. Even if they were conspiring to have freak offs and help Diddy have his freak offs, who the hell cares? Like really, like why am I? These are all consenting adults. Why should I care? Who cares? Who cares what they want to get? They want to get high. Why should I care? I'm not giving nobody 15 years of life. Stay out of his bedroom. He's a freak. He's a weirdo. And so the ladies are freaks and weirdos and drug addicts and druggies. I don't care. Like I said, I don't even care if they prove that they were crossing state lines. These were grown entertainers, which they say. I say they're prostitutes, but they don't want to use that word. Who cares? Like, who cares? Like, what are we doing here? So bad, you want Raze to sit up here and really tell you that Bad Boy Records is that bad of a company and that evil of a company that Diddy needs 15 years of life for this? This really? I would have rather you get him on assault charges on Cassie. I could rock with that more. Jane Doe, a victim. Y'all guys have lost your mind. Jane Doe, person is still collecting $10,000 a month to this day. I would love to be that type of victim. Give me $10,000. I'll be a victim for $10,000 a month. Man, the feds, the prosecution pulling victims out of nowhere, giving everybody immunity. This grand conspiracy, this grand, big time evil Bad Boy Records. Funny how everybody's getting immunity. Nobody else going to jail besides Diddy, the one man Rico. and KK, Christina Karam, I guess. I guess. But like Diddy defense team said, Christina Karam, she wasn't participating. She wasn't helping Diddy commit crimes. Like I said, she probably fetched these. She probably fetched them some mollies here and there, for them to get high, whatever. Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, is this 15 years of life of crime? Like, what kind of case is this? Charleston White can't see. If this was a regular person, they would definitely be going to jail because a regular person wouldn't have the resources and the money to hire a high and this is why this set bad precedent, because I don't want to see a person that don't have money get charged with this federal Rico racketeering when it should not be. This is what I'm saying. See, Diddy got the power, he got the fame to fight this, you know what I'm saying? But you don't. Somebody making minimum wage don't have the money to fight this if the Fed decide to drop a nuclear bomb of Rico racketeering on somebody unjustly. You don't have the power to fight this. And that's why the conviction rate is so high. And you get I think plea deals are inside that conviction rate too, like pleading down, getting pleas. You know what I'm saying? Because they dropped a nuclear bomb on you. You know what I'm saying? With charges. Get them on drug possession. If you really care that much, if you want to get them on engaging in prostitution, fine, so be it. I mean, but Diddy defense team did say it. What do y'all guys think about this? He said, look, they were like, look, those were entertainers. They were advertised as entertainers. The Punisher, and the other person, they testified that they were entertainers, not prostitutes. That's who Diddy hired. He hired entertainers. Now, obviously, guys, they did, prostitution work once they got inside the hotels. But they are not using the word prostitutes. They're saying they were hired as entertainers, escorts, guys. So y'all know the deal with that. Y'all trying to put the guy in jail for 15 years for that. I know some of you guys hate Diddy. I mean, you got to look at this objectively, guys. But really, you don't. Yeah, it's a free country. You can, if you want to put him in jail for life, hey, so be it. You know what I'm saying? But Bruce M2 says she knew what was up. JM, hey Razor, why are you so obsessed with Sean Diddy Combs? Hey JM, why are you so obsessed with Razor Raze? I mean, if you think I'm obsessed with Sean Diddy Combs, all I'm doing is I'm doing nothing. I'm doing no different than what TMZ is doing, New York Post is doing, any other YouTuber that's covering the case is doing. So obviously, all of social media is obsessed with. If you're saying Razor Raze is obsessed with Sean Diddy Combs, that means people that want to see him go down is obsessed with him. People that's doing videos like Tisa Tells is obsessed with him. That's saying he's guilty at every 3 live streams he do, three live streams a day. That means every other 500,000 YouTubers that are covering the Diddy trial, they obsessed with him. JM, CBS is obsessed with Diddy. NBC is obsessed with Diddy because Lord knows they go live, on YouTube. If you look at, they go live 3 times a day. Law and Crime Network is obsessed with Diddy. Hey, so Razor Raze is obsessed with Diddy. Hey, that means everybody. I mean, everybody is obsessed with Diddy because they're covering the case. You're following this. You did not have to click on this, JM. Once you seen Diddy in the headline, you didn't have to click on this. You could have waited till I talked about some hoes out there inside Cartagena or Sosua. You know what I'm saying? You could have waited to what you like, JM, them prostitutes out there abroad, overseas, the Paso Bros stuff. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Shout out to Rudolph Robinson is in the building. Hit that like button. Yeah, we covering the Diddy trial. We are all obsessed with the Diddy trial, guys. Let me before we go through Yvonne Curry, Razor, I appreciate you, man. Real talk. Thank you for always keeping it. Yeah, I'm just keeping it 100. You know what I'm saying? That means if I'm obsessed with this, that means everybody who's covering is obsessed with it. Because Lord knows they go live 3-4 times a day. you ain't saying Tisa Tells obsessed. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Ticket TV, he goes live 4 or 5 times a day. Is he obsessed? You know what I'm saying? Anybody covering it? You obsessed? I mean, is the feds obsessed? Or the feds or the prosecution? Is the prosecution obsessed by bringing up this weird federal racketeering Rico trial in the first place? Or they are obsessed with those Rico videos, playing those Rico videos in front of the jurors? That's some obsession right there. That's weird that they are so deep and wanting to show the jury Rico videos, show them porno. I mean, who is the real weirdos? You know what I'm saying? Like what like guys, is this a case of bedroom policing? Like in the Paso Bros space, we call it de-policing when some of the haters be getting on the Paso Bros. Well, Paso Bros going abroad and they're sleeping with these women abroad. And why? And they call it de-policing. Is the feds prosecution de-policing? You know what I'm saying? Are they de-policing? Guys, it's gonna be big. Guys, Thursday and Friday is gonna be huge. Huge closing statements. And I believe they have an excellent shot at this. Excellent shot, the defense, with what I seen, but they put in front of the judge. They have an excellent shot at this of getting 1 or 2 jurors to say you're not guilty. That's Tisha's job. Yeah, Tisha's job 3 to 4 times a day, obsessing over the past year over this stuff. I mean, yeah, I mean, and I see Street Smart. You like, shout out to you. You like Tisha Tells because she is always, you know, I guess going at Diddy and saying he's guilty. And it is what it is. You're right. You know, it is what it is. But she is obsessed. Nobody can look at her and say she's not obsessed. She's obsessed as hell. Yeah. Y'all would be lying if I say she not obsessed. Raze just mad because you expanding. They just mad because you're expanding your channel. Says where's Milano? Shout out to you, where's Milano? Salute to you, where's Milano? Some of these comments seem fed. Cops in the chat, yeah, they big mad. They say, they big mad, boy. When Diddy's defense team was doing, was putting out the reasons why the feds didn't prove their case, people were mad inside those other chats. They were mad. How dare Diddy's defense team do this and shame the victims? Y'all were mad. Ooh, Diddy's defense team, they're so mean. Why are they shaming the victims here? They're so mean. They're mean. Jane is a victim here. How dare they say that she was complicit? How dare they? They have no right to do that, Raze. Yeah, they do. They do. They got every right to defend Diddy. You know what I'm saying? It's their job. Bro, free Cassie Ventura. Cassie was free. The thing is, and this is what Diddy's defense team said, look, Cassie was free. She did this on her free will. All those employees that claimed that they even brought up Capricorn Clark, they said she was free to leave. She wasn't held against her will. She could have been left the company. As far as the overtime pay, that's not that doesn't fall under Rico enforced labor. She could have quit and went to the labor department and tried to get her wages. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't forced. She could have quit. Any of those employees, they could have quit their job. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Everybody's talking about Diddy, Rose, right? Yeah, everybody's talking about Diddy. So why wouldn't I talk about Diddy? I mean, it was, Like I said, guys, I think the defense did a masterful job. I think the feds, what the feds is doing, they have put together a Rico federal racketeering case with a lot of gray area, which using the law code to say, you know what, technically he did do these things, technically so guilty, Rico racketeering. I don't think that was a good thing for the feds to do. I think it sets a horrible precedent. I believe I don't think that I mean, they're just not playing fair. I mean, that's wild that they do this and they dropped the atomic bomb. But hey, it is what it is. So Diddy's defense team is doing what they're handling it the best way they seem. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. It is what it is. Like I said, I'm gonna continue to say I don't mind if Diddy, pleads down, get like 3 years in prison. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe. I mean, it is what it is. But 15 years of life, hell no. Salute Ronin Travelers in the building. Salute to you, my guy, Ronin Travelers. So I'll face federal sex trafficking charges if I fly my favorite Mingo to the States. Yeah, the key maker, yes. Yeah, you will. You know what I'm saying? They get you on. They might do on some racketeering too. If your brother knows about it, if your brother knows about it and your brother booked the flight for you. If you told your brother to book the flight for your girl from DR and he actually works for you, let's say you have your own company and your brother, booked that flight for your Mingo, your girlfriend to come over from DR. Rico racketeering, your brother is colluding with you to coerce that girl from DR to come over. You see what I'm saying? I'm using these examples to tell y'all guys how silly this sounds. Yeah, it's the law is on the books, but Jaywalking. The jaywalking law is on the books too, guys. Come on, guys. Are you going to enforce every single little thing? I mean, my God, the guy is facing 15 years in life in prison. Come on, what are we doing here? All I know is Cassie got paid $30 million. Cassie did get paid. You know, the conviction rate is high because most people plead out. Also, most people can't afford a competent defense team. Yes, CC, you're 100% correct with that. Like I said, we're making sense of this. This is about to come to an end. You know, this is about to come to an end. And like I said, it's all going to be said and done by Friday, guys. And I'm going to be out there Friday. It's going to be a hell of a lot of media out there on Thursday and Friday, but more so Friday because there is an outside chance, guys, that there can be a verdict reach. There might be a verdict reach on, outside chance if the defense, finishes. They're going to be from 9 to 5. The judge has extended the days 9 to 5. So outside chance there will be a verdict on Friday. All I know is Cassie tried to leave 3 times that we know of, after which her mom was extorted, Kid Cudi home was trespassed, and his car burned, and Cassie was physically assaulted in a hotel hallway. Now, Guy and Mac, if you can prove they're saying that the prosecution did not prove all of that, what you're saying. Besides, the only thing they proved was the hotel hallway stuff. All that other stuff is circumstantial. There's no hardcore evidence he burned that man's car. Actually, the evidence say he didn't burn the man's car. It was a female DNA on a Molotov cocktail in Mac. They're saying that the extortion as far as Cassie mom, really, he wanted the $20,000 for the studio time because he wanted money back when he found out Cassie was dating Kid Cudi, and he got jealous, and he said, you know what, repay me for all of the time and the money that I put out there. I want $20,000. Now Cassie went to her mother for the money. Now Cassie is the one that asked her mother for the money, saying that, hey, Diddy's going to release the freak off tape. Diddy never told Cassie's mother that he's going to release the freak off tape if they didn't pay the money in Mac. So once again, there's no real evidence that he ever actually threatened to release those freak offs if they didn't pay the $20,000. You're going to have to take Cassie's word for it. Diddy did call the mother asking for the $20,000, but that's because Cassie told Diddy that, hey, my mother was going to pay the 20 grand. Now Cassie is the one threw in that, yeah, he's going to release the freak offs and this and that. So Cassie's mother testified to that, but Diddy never told Cassie's mother that. So once again, you're going to go on the assumption that Cassie wasn't lying to over exaggerate it to get the $20,000 from the mother to pay, for the studio time. You know what I'm saying? Listen, because why would Cassie's mother pay? Listen, if Diddy was to go to Cassie's mother and say, hey, I want $20,000 for Cassie's studio time and this and that, that's not going to really work. Or Cassie went to her mother to say, look, I want $20,000 because he's saying, look, I'm with Kid Cudi now, and he wants the money back. He wants payment for the studio time, and what I'm saying, this and that. Would Cassie's mother actually get the $20,000, take the loan out? No, but if you add that, hey, Diddy said he's gonna release my freak off videos and this and that, mom, I need your help. Yeah, now that's your mother. Your mother gonna do everything they can to help you. You know what I'm saying? Now they sent the $20,000, and Diddy sent it right back a week later. So I mean, it is what it is. Hit that like button, guys. I hate to be the bearer of bad news for some of you guys that wants a slam dunk case that Diddy is gonna get convicted, but it's no slam dunk at all. Not from what I'm seeing. I hate to be the bearer of bad news for everybody that wants to see Diddy convicted, but I followed the case. I followed this trial more, specifically, and it is what it is. I mean, I don't know what you want me to say. I can't make up. Listen, I can't make up. Uh, you know, charges and give you hope that Diddy is gonna be found 100% guilty when I'm not seeing it. You know, just to make you feel better, just to make you sleep. Go to Tisa Tells for that. You know what I'm saying? Go to Tisa Tells channel for that. If you guys want to feel better about yourself, if you want to sleep good at night, knowing Tisa Tells saying Diddy is done, Diddy is finished. You know, Diddy's defense team is inept. Diddy's defense team failed. Diddy's defense team has no defense. Go over there and you're gonna feel real good. You can pop open a beer, listen to Tisa Tells. You know what I'm saying? Tell her tales, and you'd be way more happier than being over here, because I'm bringing it to you straight. You know what I'm saying? Now, like I said, I believe that all right. Let me throw you a bone. I believe the prosecution did do a good job of pacing together a federal RICO racketeering charge that can be looked at as credible to some people, because technically, I guess if you look at the letter of the law, sex trafficking and this and that, Diddy did engage in some of that stuff, right? Technically. But like I said, technically, jaywalking is a crime. You know what I'm saying? It's like, technically, you could be charged with anything, man. You could go to jail for basically anything, really, or be fined for basically anything. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if they really want to get you, I mean, and obviously they really want Diddy, because they don't really feel Bad Boy Records is that big of a threat to society, because if they did, all these people would be being charged criminally. If they really felt that the crimes were so egregious going down inside those freak offs and Bad Boy Records, then they all would have been charged and not given immunity. They would have said, look, we bringing all these people down, we putting these people in jail, and we getting these dangerous criminals off the streets. You know what I'm saying? But they don't really feel that way. They just want, for whatever reason, they want to drop the hammer, 15 years of life on Diddy for whatever reason. I don't know who he pissed off. Why did I do not know. I'm no conspiracy theorist type person. I'm far away from that. I do not like conspiracy theories. I hate that type of stuff. But man, as Judge Mathis says, Judge Mathis would sentence him 3 to 5 years. I think that would be fair, guys, too. Myself personally, but he is facing 15 years to life, guys. Judge Mathis says, and this is a legal guy, not Raze. He said the feds really want this guy. They want to bury this guy for whatever reason. Judge Mathis, this is Judge Mathis, a real judge, guys, said he think the crimes is like 3 to 5 years worth of crime. He would. That's what. If it was if it was a trial by judge and he was the judge, he would give him 3 to 5 years. But unfortunately for him, the feds want blood for whatever reason. So, and like I said, guys, I think 3 years would be fine. 3 to 5 years would be fine. I'm not the one type of one that says Diddy is not guilty of any crimes. I've never said that. So I've never said that. So people coming in here saying Raze is being biased and this and that. Raze, no. I mean, but when you come to trial, you got to have some real evidence. You got to, and if you overcharge, remember, if you overcharge, you ruin your case. If you overcharge, if you overreach, you are leaving open the defense, to go out there and say, yeah, this is a stretch, this is an overreach, you know what I'm saying? And this guy is not guilty of this stuff, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it is what it is. I mean, rest in peace, Craig Mack. If I was on the jury, guilty says, well, all right, no Rico here. Or they prove that Diddy is a freak. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, guys. No minors here. People, consenting adults here. No minor. Yeah, Rose Wright. Continue to remind them, Rose Wright. I mean, I think we were gaslit as a society when he was first arrested, before the rumors and all the lawsuits, Tony Busby, before that other extra stuff that he wasn't even charged with. This is not R. Kelly. I'm gonna continue to remind you, this is not an R. Kelly situation. You know, this is not the R. Kelly situation. These are different. You know, yeah, R. Kelly did get hit with Rico, right? Racketeering, but he got hit with that other stuff, that A minor stuff. Diddy did not get hit with that. You know what I'm saying? So that's huge with me. That's huge with me. You're making nothing up. You see what's going on. Tisa is a hater. Free Diddy, says Rose Wright. Did Linda IM says they did do some things that are questionable. The government has not shown much. I thought they would have done more, says Linda IM. Yeah. You know, and a lot of people say, look, this case has been, you know, this trial is just like, what kind of trial is this? I see what they're trying to do, the feds, the prosecution. I see. I mean, now, if you really want to get Diddy on, like, I guess I can see Rico racketeering, but I just think it wasn't necessary. I mean, it's like, I mean, it's more important stuff. And I think they were going to bring up the Iran stuff. I don't know if they're going to do that now. They, you know, some of these Homeland Security people, like 70 Homeland Security raided that house, Diddy's house, and I think they were going to make the case that, look, what is Homeland Security doing raiding Diddy's house when they need to be worrying about this stuff going on with Iran and Israel and USA getting involved in a migrant crisis type stuff? You know what I'm saying? What are they doing, wasting time and resources? You know, trying to convict Diddy and get Diddy 15 years on this type of case. Like, where are the priorities? Now, they didn't mention that today. The prosecutors mentioned that. They said, well, we hope that the defense don't bring up the Iran situation. But, you know, it's like, but the defense would have a point. Like, really, this is what y'all are concentrating on? This? Like, what? Like, BMD Sound says, free Diddy. You can't hold him down. Diddy coming back to billionaire status while sipping on his brand of liquor. Diddy, a Harlem hustler. Liar. Other people say different, says Pat Yeager. Nah, he's going to prison. Custom one. But for how long? That's the thing. Like I said, I wouldn't mind 3 to 5 years, guys, on a plea deal or whatever. I still think there's going to be some plea deals made on some of the biggest charges. I think maybe they plea on a sex trafficking charge. You know, there's a plea on a sex trafficking charge. You know, like I said, that's one of the biggest charges in racketeering. Maybe they get him on a Mann Act, where Mann Act, you could get up to 10 years in prison. At least the judge will have more discretion on his sentencing. You know, it's not a minimum of 15 years to life on a Mann Act, and you know. Cassie was blowing through money. And guys, for people that did not, if y'all didn't hear the other day, I have audio of Cassie. Now listen to this victim, guys. Listen to this alleged victim, and they played this in a courtroom the other day. Well, yeah, they played this in front of the jurors. This is Cassie being a victim, threatening another man. She threatened to unalive another man because she wanted the tapes, the alleged freak-off tapes, her and DJ Who Kid, and she was threatening this guy to give her the tapes, let us see the video, or she's going to have him basically unalived. Let's listen.
So you're telling me that he showed you a video of Who Kid Cassie? Then that's not a real video because he's never
in that position. You would have been naked. I'm just saying, if you
so
were,
he's in the video.
I'm saying if I had a picture.
Is he in the video?
Yeah, but I'm saying if I had a
picture, then that's not me.
But I'm just saying, look, hold on. You have to understand. If I had a picture of you naked.
If there's a picture of me naked, that's completely different than a video of me.
So
the video that he showed you, he's in it.
Yeah, we can try to pull it.
How are you gonna? Oh no, your phones are right here.
Try to pull it. You can try to pull it. You can try to pull it.
On the internet?
Yeah, you can try to pull it.
Where?
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay, which phone?
You can bring my
the
phone.
Samsung?
Yeah, you can bring it.
So you have it or you don't have it? Can you just be clear with me? Do you have it?
I saw it and I don't want to ever see it again.
I know you don't, but I want to see it.
Yeah, but I don't want to see it, bro.
Yeah, you don't have to see it, but it's my life and I'll kill you.
Yeah, but
no, I will kill you if you don't show me right now. I will kill you and I will hide you and I will cut you up and put you in the dirt right now. Pull it up. If you have it, pull that up. Because if not, I'm going to kill you and then he's going to kill you again. So just do it. Pull that up right now.
Woo! Hit that like button, guys. Guys, y'all heard it. Y'all heard the audio. Cassie being a goon, acting like a goon. Acting like a goon. Why isn't Cassie charged? Anybody that's not biased, unbiased people, my unbiased, I know I got a bunch of unbiased people inside the chat. Some biased, some unbiased. If you're not unbiased, why isn't Cassie charged? It seems like she's a goon. So if Bad Boy Records is a criminal organization, then Cassie has to be a part of the criminal organization after hearing that audio. She's threatening to unalive somebody, making threats. That means she's a part of the criminal organization. Why isn't she charged? Why is she labeled as a victim? She just threatened to unalive somebody. Why isn't Cassie charged? That's a threat. That's a threat. Lord knows that was Diddy on that audio. If that was Diddy making them threats on the audio, the outrage, she just threatened to unalive. Why didn't the feds say, all right, hey, you just threatened this man's life? If we being petty here, if we want to be petty for all these charges, that's illegal. You can't do that as a threat. You co-conspiring with Diddy to run his organization with threats, Cassie. You're using intimidation, Cassie. Coercion to get that videotape, Cassie. Why isn't she labeled as a criminal? Oh, yeah, I got no answer for that, right? You see, I bring receipts over here, guys, and people don't like it, but I mean, it is what it is. Y'all have no answer for that because y'all don't care. Y'all don't care. I just want to see Diddy buried by any means necessary. She's not innocent. She goes cut up into pieces. Wow. Yeah, Maria, like, yeah. Why isn't she charged? That's a threat right there. That's a threat. So how is she allowed to collect 20 million, 10 million, and this and that? Which I understand. Well, all right. But if it's that, if Bad Boy Records, she just put a threat out there. Is she not a criminal too? Oh, Cassie sounded suspect. All right. Hi, fam. All right. Philip, Australia. I think P. Diddy is innocent and he's just been chased down by a lot of gold diggers. Of course, the gold diggers. Now, like I said, and I was saying this a few weeks ago, Diddy got to take some responsibility. He put himself in a situation because these girls are gold diggers. You know what I'm saying? And he got to take responsibility for his wild sex life, the drugs and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You're getting high all the time. You setting yourself up for lawsuits. You setting yourself up for these type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Personal accountability from Diddy too. He got it, so look at the position he's in. He got himself in his position now. You know what I'm saying? Open himself up because of his wild sex freak offs, his sexual lifestyle, his weird fetishes, his swinger lifestyle. You know what I mean? Open himself up to this, Now I don't know why the feds were so invested on bringing him down for that. I don't know. Maybe this is some type of makeup. Remember they got OJ on a kidnapping. I guess they felt OJ got off with the double homicide, so they said they're gonna get OJ on the kidnapping those people in the hotel when he was trying to retrieve his memorabilia. Which OJ was an idiot for going in there with the guns, and they got him on kidnapping those people inside that hotel room, and they sentenced him to 70 years. Maybe they feel that maybe this is makeup for the Shine case. You know, when Shine got sentenced to 10 years. So maybe this is some makeup. And I guess, you know, some people wouldn't mind Diddy getting found guilty as a makeup. You know what I mean? Makeup, you know. Now, I ain't even gonna bring up the Tupac stuff or whatever, because, you know, But some people think, you know, he's just a bad guy. He cheated people out of record deals and stuff like that. And he should pay. So I get it. But if I was on that jury, I'm saying not guilty. You know? She wants money, bro. Juicy. He's still paying her rent. Oh, Jane, yes, still paying Jane's rent. 100%. Trashy woman on stand. Another thing, you know, these women are drug addicts, and these people testifying as drug addicts. And I mean, these are your star witnesses, and you expect the jurors to take 100% their word on everything. And bro, she still messing with Diddy while being with her husband. Says Juicy, yeah. P. Diddy was just kinky in the bedroom. Everyone else was into it. They see an opportunity to get some money out of it, and they going to chasing down till they money. All right. She answered her husband call about with Diddy. So what do y'all gotta think about Cassie? Ebba Bine, Cassie probably the madam, madam. Cassie sounded gangster in there. That poor little victim sounded gangster. Diddy ain't win in defense. Always asks for mistrials and acquittals. Doesn't mean it'll be granted. No, like I said, JR the boss, I agree that the judge is not going to grant this. But I like the framing of how they framed it. People were saying they didn't have any defense. I believe they have a great defense, and I believe the jurors, some of the people in the jurors are going to believe the defense. I believe some of the people, not all 12 jurors are going to, I mean, of course, not all 12. But you're not going to get all 12. I'm convinced now you're not going to get all 12 to say guilty on every set of the charges, all 5. And tomorrow, guys, once again, the jurors are not going to be in court tomorrow. The defense and prosecutors, they're going to be in there arguing on the instructions given to the jury, you know, and how they're going to fill in there not guilty or guilty, you know, and how the explaining of how they're going to find a verdict basically tomorrow, you know, that's going to be argued tomorrow. So no jury tomorrow. Thursday and Friday, closing arguments, and then it goes to the jury, and that's a wrap. We're going to be live from out there Thursday, not tomorrow, because tomorrow, like I said, it's not going to be much out there. So Thursday, we'll go live from out there on Thursday when the prosecution is making their final thing, and definitely Friday, because Friday, outside chance there can be a verdict if the defense finished their thing quicker than 5 p.m. Let's say they finish around 3 o'clock, 3:30. Technically, the judge could give the instructions and go to the jury. Now, I doubt there'll be a verdict on Friday, but, you know, it's going to take, you know, they probably have to wait till Monday. But, you know, we'll do our verdict watch on Friday, just in case. Just never know, the timeline, you know. But like I said, Cassie is a goon. Guys, hit that like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Anybody new? Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, guys. Those lying women have to answer. Cassie knew what she was doing. Yeah, Cassie sounded like a goon. She didn't sound like the, you know, little helpless little victim. And this is why I believe Diddy's defense team is doing the best they can, you know, with under the circumstances with this atomic bomb dropped on them with Rico racketeering. It's hard to beat these. It's hard to beat this 100% to get a 100% acquittal. You know what I'm saying? Like we said, they you know, they be doing plea deals and stuff like that, which I expect on did a plea deal on at least the sex trafficking, the biggest one, 15 years to life or whatever. But we'll see. it's hard to beat this stuff. And I believe the Diddy defense team, they doing the best they can. You know what I'm saying? They doing the best they can. You know, I mean, it is what it is. And, you know, and now I'm thinking about, them putting that audio out about Cassie. They're throwing out all the stops. You know what I mean? They're pulling out all the stops. You know, and people had the nerve to say, "Oh, they don't have no defense. You know, they just taking Diddy's money." And I say, you guys are insane in the membrane. And why aren't you calling for Cassie to be brought up on charges after threatening?
So you're telling me that he showed you a
I mean,
video
if
of who kidnapped Cassie? Then that's not a real video because he's never
in that
me.
position, you would have been naked. I'm just saying, if you
So
were,
he's in the video.
I'm saying if I had a picture
Is
of
he
you
in the
naked-
video?
Yeah, but I'm saying if I had a picture,
Then that's not me.
but I'm just saying, look, hold on, you have to understand, if I had a picture of you naked,
If there's a picture of me naked, that's completely different than a video of me.
Just being real. So I'm just saying-
So the video that he showed you, he's in it.
yeah, we can try to pull it.
How are you gonna? Oh no, your phones are right here.
Try to pull it. You can try
Which-
to pull it. You can try to pull it.
On the internet?
Yeah, you can try to pull it.
Where?
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay, which phone?
You can bring my
The
phone.
Samsung?
Yeah, you can bring it.
So you have it or you don't have it? Can you just be clear with me? Do you have it?
saw it and I don't want to ever see it again.
I know you don't, but I want to see it.
Yeah, but I don't want to see it, bro.
Yeah, you don't have to see it, but it's my life and I'll kill you.
Yeah, but I'm
No,
not
I
gonna-
will kill you if you don't show me right now. I will kill you and I will hide you and I will cut you up and put you in the dirt right now. Pull it up. If you have it, pull that up. Because if not, I'm going to kill you and then he's going to kill you again. So just do it. Pull that up right now.
The words of Cassie Ventura, guys. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. And ironically, let's just say, if they were to put Cassie up there as she's a part of the criminal enterprise, that right there is evidence. That would be more evidence that Diddy is running a criminal enterprise using Cassie, because Cassie is threatening people's lives. You know what I'm saying? You know, if now the defense released that, but let's just say if Cassie was a co-conspirator and a real co-conspirator and not a victim, and they decided to say, look, Cassie was a goon. She was a goon. You know, she was close to Diddy. Look at that. She is an enforcer. Cassie is an enforcer for Diddy's criminal enterprise. Cassie's words alone, that would make more sense that Diddy is running a goon criminal enterprise, because Cassie is a goon. Do y'all see how ironic that is? They have more evidence using Cassie's voice than any of these other people, because these other people don't have no real evidence. This is just those other people that testified. It's just like, all right, is their word versus, Diddy's word and Diddy's defense team word. They had no hardcore evidence. Now, Cassie, threatening to unalive somebody, that would be more evidence that she's part of this criminal organization and she is an enforcer for the Diddy racketeering conspiracy organization. Cassie, she's one of the lead goons. She's no victim. Guys, I think I put it out there, guys. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We'll see what will happen coming Thursday and Friday, guys. I'm intrigued to see what's gonna happen. Cassie is the real goon. Cassie is the real goon. She's the enforcer of Bad Boy Records. But nobody ever framed it like that. You know what I'm saying? Nobody ever framed it like that. The prosecution did not release those that audio because they felt it would have been a bad look. And the defense they went on and released it. The defense said, we releasing it to show that she's not really a victim. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Chip is in the building. You know what I'm saying? He used all the tapes to hold power over all the people he filmed. Charles Bailey. Let me see. Cassie, no victim here. Evil witch threatening people. Yeah, Rose White. So who is this guy talking on the audio? Some guy that in inner circles. You know what I mean? He said he had the video of her and Wu Kid. You know what I mean? It's not about the win. It's about the tear down of another black man. That's BS. He ain't getting an acquittal. They going to bury him deep under the courthouse. Okay, Charles Bailey. Hey, you got the right to your opinion. We shall see. We shall see. T minus 3 more days. You know what I'm saying? It might go into the weekend. You know what I mean? And everybody going to speculate. Everybody's going to speculate. Kevin Romes is in the building. Told you for months. Free puff. Like I said, I had to see the trial though first, Kevin Romes. You know what I'm saying? I had to give the feds a chance to put out their case, to prove all of the rumors and the allegations that was sensationalized over the past year. And I gave them a chance. I don't feel that I feel it was a very underwhelming case they put out there. I feel it was an unnecessary case. I feel that these charges could have been way different, according like Ray said. But it's all coming to a head. Only thing that matters now is those 12 jurors. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. Can't predict the jurors. We cannot predict what the jurors are gonna do. You know, I mean, we can have our predictions, but that's why we're here though. It's gonna be fun watching what goes down. We all will see soon. Yeah, and this has been great. I appreciate all you guys for tuning in and following me as I have covered this. And we're going to be back out there at the courthouse on Thursday, you know what I'm saying, to finish this off. You know what I mean? He reminds me of J. Edgar Hoover blackmailed everyone to get what he wanted, says Charles Bailey. Cassie like an unpredictable one in the movie doing the unalive stuff. Miss Gangster Cassie should be charged for threatening that guy. Hey, but they never will. They never will. They never will. She's poor little Cassie. They never will. See, if the feds were smart, they could have flipped it and said, look, you see, she was acting on behalf of Bad Boy Records. This is Diddy taught her well. Diddy, but hey, I mean, who am I, that victim should sue her, says T. Williams, for threatening. See, that victim, he was still trying to get a back massage from her. As she was doing all that, he was like, hey, I want a massage. You rub my back and this and that. So he was a pervert. I didn't play the whole thing. I edited it down because it was very perverted. She helping herself out. They got a deal with her. Salute, Norman. Did he go into jail? Well, technically, he's in jail already. Brooklyn guy. Now, will he be going to federal prison for 25 years of life? Well, technically, he's in jail, Brooklyn guy. He's in jail now. He got to, you know what I'm saying? Technically, but we'll see if he gets sentenced to 15 to 25 years in prison. But I know what you mean. I know what you're talking about. Let me see. Hit the like button, guys. I think we had some fun here. I like debating with you guys, going back and forth. We'll have this debate once we hear the prosecution, because the prosecution is going to get their turn to go ahead and summarize this and do their closing arguments. And, teaser tells and the like. Everybody going to be like, hey, see, they proved their case. And then people are going to be crying yet again on Friday when the defense go ahead and take a few hours and prove their case with their closing statements. People are going to be crying and mad that Diddy's defense team is doing what they're paid to do and put out a defense and put in some doubt inside those jurors' heads, and that's all they need to do. And it goes to the jury. It's going to be fun. Chang Bang says, obviously, a mistrial. So the feds didn't go through all of this for him to walk. The feds got no... Listen, it's on the jurors now. The feds go want whatever the feds, they got, it's out of their hand. It's going to be in those 12 jurors' hands. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be in the 12 jurors' hands. And if one of those 12 jurors says not guilty, I mean, it is what it is. Obviously, the feds want a conviction, of course, on some of the bigger things, obviously, but there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that they're going to get it. You know, and it is what it is. The people that wanted to get OJ on double homicide, obviously they wanted to get a guilty verdict. They didn't go through that case. Not to get OJ. They had him in a Bronco on a slow speed chase. They thought he was guilty. You know what I'm saying? So, but everybody, all prosecutions, all the prosecutors, they don't go through it for their health. They go through these cases to try to get a conviction. That's with every prosecutor, whether it's feds or state. You know what I'm saying? I mean, nobody trying to waste their time. The defense is not here to waste their time. You know what I mean? They getting paid a job to do. They got a reputation on the line. Some people are so crazy, and this is how weird the social media is. I've seen some people saying, Diddy's defense team, they're not calling up any witnesses on his defense because they're trying to set up for an appeal where Diddy can say he had a representation that was not good at their job, and Diddy, that's going to help Diddy in for incompetence, having an incompetent representation. That's why they're not calling up any witnesses. And I'm just looking at my phone, looking at these comments, like, oh my God, are you people this dense? Do y'all hear what y'all are saying? So y'all are saying that the reason Brian Steele, Agniflio, Gurgis, right? Sean Diddy Combs' defense team, they are playing like they're idiots. So when they get convicted, they can file, Diddy can file an appeal claiming that this defense team, this highly paid defense team, are idiots. They are incompetent. So you believe that's their strategy? You really believe that's Brian Steele's strategy? Are you out your goddamn minds? And this what people were saying inside the chats. I'm looking like, oh, you're crazy? These defense attorneys, they have reputations. They're not going to do that. Just so Diddy can say, hey, I had incompetent defense team. It makes Diddy's defense his appeal look better. Are y'all crazy? Like, what are y'all talking about? It's crazy. I just be laughing. I'd be laughing about it. Some of these comments, like, y'all are crazy. I'm not talking about you guys in my chat. I'm talking about people inside the chat from yesterday when it was broke. When it broke that Diddy's defense team is not going to have any witnesses. People were saying, oh, this is a strategy to make them look incompetent. So Diddy can go and file an appeal, say he had incompetent representation. Do y'all understand that would make Diddy that who would want to hire Brian Steele anymore after that? Then use your heads. Oh my God. Oh my God. How silly or something. This is social media though, man. Oh my God. Like, y'all gotta be kidding. It was, I'm like, oh, y'all serious? Wow. What the hell? Just the Facts in the building. Yo, what up, Just the Facts? We're coming to an end. We're coming to an end. Just the Facts. We're coming to an end. Just the Facts vote guilty. Yeah, Just the Facts vote guilty. Yeah, on all charges. We're coming to an end of this madness, Just the Facts. But shout out to you, Just the Facts. Shout out to you. Yeah, Kevin Rome, exactly. People don't think straight. People don't think straight. What are y'all talking about? Diddy's defense team, these high powered. How are y'all even saying this? Y'all are weird. Y'all a bunch of weirdos to even think that Diddy's defense team is setting up for incompetent plea from Diddy, saying that, hey, we are incompetent bunch of idiots to not call any people to testify for Diddy, so Diddy can tell the judges that we were incompetent, and more than likely he is going to get freed on appeal. That is the dumbest thing I've heard a group of people say. And it was a lot of people saying in these chats. On these other people's streams, a lot of people were saying that. The people that are pro finding Diddy guilty, a lot of those people were saying that in the chats. I'm like, oh my God. This is real life. Am I really witnessing this stuff? Like, what is it? I was laughing. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. This can't be serious. You cannot be serious. Exactly, Maria. Like you. Oh my goodness. I think it's not over yet. They want to win to go down in history, says Maria. Mistrial no matter what. There is no way to have a fair trial in his case. Well, yeah, because they dropped all these, they put all these charges on him. You know what I'm saying? This is hard to beat. You know what I'm saying? You know, this is hard to beat. You know, I mean, but because of all of this, you know, this is a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? They put out there. They put all of this. They know it. See, the feds know it's hard. That's why they get somebody. They get people to plead down because they know. You know what I mean? They know if we blanket carpet bomb him with all these charges, you know, it's gonna be tough for his defense team to prove he didn't do all this stuff. And you know, yeah. No, all right. Nah, may justice prevail, says justice. Just the facts. Yeah, Kevin Rhodes. People don't think straight, man. It's insane. Oh man. Yeah. Brian Steele, no way. Yeah, Brian Steele with no way. Brian Steele, no way would put his reputation on the line and make himself look incompetent just so Diddy could win on appeal for having incompetent representation. What in the world is wrong with people? And it's scary because some of those people that are saying that stuff, they can find themselves on some of these juries, and they have your people. Yeah, they have my freedom on the line. You know what I'm saying? They, you know, some of these people that were saying that stuff in the chat, they're gonna find themselves on juries one of these days. You know what I'm saying? They hold the fate of somebody's freedom in their hand. Like, that's scary. That is scary. Like I said, we a common sense channel over here. You know what I mean? We a common sense channel over here. Whoop, doop, 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 doop. Yeah, I seen the verdict form. And tomorrow they're gonna give the instructions. Well, they not give the instructions. Tomorrow they're gonna argue about what the instructions are. I seen the verdict forms and stuff. Just the facts. But I am digging what the defense was saying today with this 29 rule. And they're going to put that out there on Friday. The same stuff, the same arguments in front of the judge for the 29 rule. They're going to drop that in front of those 12 jurors. And I believe they have a very good shot of getting some not guilties on Friday or Monday when the verdict is read, guys. This is not, I'm predicting right now, this is not going to be all around guilty on all charges. No way. They are not going to get 12 jurors after what I seen. After what I seen was laid out there by the defense, they are not going to get all 12 jurors to agree on this. This is going to be a problem for the prosecution. Very, very much so, because they overreached. This is getting put on a national stage right now. Overreaching by the federal government. You know what I'm saying? You lean Diddy, says Edwin. Shows how ridiculous people are and believe in lies and rumors for years just to find out their lies, then contribute to the hate people embarrassing themselves. Yeah, you know. What kids? Yeah, there is no underage people involved inside this trial. So that's why I changed my stance. I was led to believe that they would be, but I should have known looking at the charges from the beginning. These are not R. Kelly charges. You know what I'm saying? The racketeering part is, but not the underage stuff. So defense always asks for acquittal. It's customary. He's not going to get it. Diddy is getting. Yeah. Well, I mentioned that already, CC, that the judge more than likely is not going to throw any of these charges out. But I like what they put out there in front of the judge, and they're gonna put the same arguments in front of the jurors, and I believe they have great arguments, a great defense in front of those 12 jurors, and they're not gonna get all 12 jurors. The prosecution is not gonna get all 12 jurors to take guilty on all of those charges. You might end up on a Raze show missing. Real talk. He's done. So, all right. Hey, like I said, it's all coming down. Y'all guys got to write to your opinions. He's done. You only need one. He will get that one that says no, says hacker. Y'all can't hear me. You say my audio isn't good? Hold on. Let me see what my audio was. I don't know. Don't carry low IQ to other countries. Brian Steele is a good lawyer. Yeah, I heard, people trying to say Brian Steele is like, don't know what he's doing. Like, y'all are crazy. Did he pay for these attorneys? Yes. Brooklyn guy to get him off. You know what I'm saying? He paid for them to get him off. We hear you dropping out. Okay, thank you. All right. Okay. Did he would do at least 15 years? Well, if he is convicted on sex trafficking by forced coercion, sex trafficking, like I said, I don't know how that carries a minimum of 15 years when the real crime he did, as far as the crime I would be more wanting to convict him of assault and Cassie, that's not a minimum of 15 years. So I don't know how they make these laws and why is sex trafficking worth 15 years minimum when assaulting Cassie is not. That's why I'm saying, if I was in a jury, I'm practicing jury nullification, not guilty. Have a nice day. And guys, with that, I'm going to break out. Thank you, everybody. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We will be back live tomorrow. And definitely live from the courthouse Thursday and Friday. Salute to you guys. You guys have been great. Great back and forth. Great commentary from you guys in the chat. Get the lights up. Subscribe to the channel, guys. Shout out to you, Maria. Everybody. Thank you, all the moderators. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel on your guys' way out. Anybody new to the channel? Over the next few days, wall-to-wall coverage of this. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. And like I said, I'm going to be live. So if he is found guilty in all charges, I'm going to be live. I'm going to be out there at the trial. I'm going to be out there Friday and Monday. So I will come live if he is found guilty. And y'all guys can gloat. And I'm, you know what I'm saying? You guys can gloat. Have y'all fun, you know what I'm saying, in the chat, And I'm going to put y'all comments on the screen, you know what I'm saying? And let y'all celebrate, you know what I'm saying? Salute, Jay White. Salute. I don't think he is going to be found guilty on the major charges, But I welcome y'all to come back. If he is found guilty, I will be live, and I'm going to let you guys celebrate if he is, you know what I'm saying? It is all good, but I don't think all the charges are good, says Clinton Welton. Yeah, Friday great, Maria. Just cause that fool asked the judge to throw out the charges means nothing. The judge can and most likely will deny that motion. Then the circus will continue. Hey, it's worth a swing for the fences, Donna Words. You know what I mean? What? Maybe he would throw out one of the charges. You never know. I mean, it's worth a try, though. You know what I'm saying? They got nothing to lose by doing that. It's about to end anyway. It's about to go to the jurors anyway. So, Diddy Cook says Cindy Prim. Okay, guys. Salute to you guys, man. I'm out of here. Salute.